Okay, this is the 2014 end of topic test, question 1A. How much does Aranu pay Company A in total for delivery of two parcels weighing 0.8 and 4.2? So the 0.8 kilo parcel clearly falls into this category, $4.50, plus the 4.2 kilo parcel would fall into this category, $11.50. Now we're asked to draw the graph with this information. So I'm going to have to go down to the graph. We could try and just minimize it a little bit, like that. Okay, so up to 5 kilos but not including it is $3. So that's for small weight parcels. Will be up to the 0.5 of a kilo, so that's halfway. So we'll assume that the 0.5 kilos is included in this next category at $4.50. So when you get to half a kilo in here, it goes up to $4.50. That's a given, so that will need to be an open dot because at half a kilo it's $4.50. And it goes right up to 1.5 kilos over here. And once again, we'll assume, because it says up to 1.5, we'll assume that the 1.5 kilos is included in the next category. So 1.5 kilos, when we get to 1.5, it's going up to $5.75. You can probably see clearer on your copy. And that goes all the way up to 3.5. We'll put the open dot there. Right, and so from 3.5 all the way up to 5 kilos, it jumps up to $7. All the way up to 5 kilos. And we'll put an open dot there. Now back at the beginning, we'll assume for 0 kilos, of course, it would be a 0 cost as well. It's a step function. B part 1. Here's another company. This one has more of a linear rule, so we're moving away from the exponential, the step function. We'll just make it a wee bit bigger. W is the weight, so I can see that this one says 1.5 times the weight plus 1. C is in dollars, so that'll be $1.50 there, plus $1. W is the weight in kilograms. So we're back to in total, we've got two parcels again. So the first one will be 1.5 times 0.8 plus 1 for the first parcel. And the second parcel, 1.5 times the weight. We need to work out both those numbers and then add them together. 1.5 times 0.8 plus 1. $2.20 for that parcel. And $7.30 for that one, which comes to, when you add them both up, $9.50 in total. Make sure it's clear which one is your answer. Right, now we need to go back and graph this one on the previous page. When it comes to graphing it, if we just do a little bit of work here, I know that there's going to be the y-intercept. It's going to intercept at $1. This is my gradient. 1.5, 1.5 will be the gradient. We might decide to actually put this rule into table and plot a few points. So if we go back to the graph and we'll change colour, the y-intercept was clearly 1. And if we're thinking about the second graph, 1.5 times w plus 1, we could actually plot a few points, might be just as quick. So when x is 1 kilogram, 1.5 times 1 is 1.5 plus 1 will be $2.50, which is about there. When we have a 2 kilo parcel, 1.5 times 2 is 3, plus 1 is $4. For a 2 kilo parcel will be $4. Let's try another one for 3. 1.5 times 3 is going to be 4.5, plus 1 is 5.5. So that's up about there. And we'll try another couple of points for 4. 1.5 times 4 will be 6, plus 1 is $7. And for 5, we're up at $8.50, which is off the graph. Right, now you've got a ruler, so you can draw that in neater than me. But that's what the graph is looking like, so that's the second option. It's a linear graph, different to our original step function. We're asked to compare for the rest of that question. Describe any differences between that and the graph. So clearly one difference is the original graph is step function, this one's a linear function. We can talk about the fact that the green one has a y-intercept, that it has a rate, a gradient. It's going up in a constant gradient. So for each extra kilo in weight, it goes up by another $1.50. You can see that the step function's not going up in regular amounts at all, really. So that obviously is another difference as well. So we'll just go back down here. So that was called Company A. Company A is a step graph. Company B uses a linear graph. Company B has a y-intercept of $1. We can also mention that Company B has a constant gradient. $1.50 for every extra kilogram. Company A goes up in, I think it was irregular amounts, yep, in irregular amounts depending on the weight. Right, and lastly, the last part of this question says, for what parcel weights are the cost of delivery the same for Company A and Company B? So this is going to be tricky to go between the two questions, but you can see there are two places. There's one here, so, and one here. So obviously we're going to need to solve for this one. We want to find where 1.5w plus 1, which is the equation of the green line, where it's equal to $7. That would find that x value. It looks like 4, but we'll work that out. And this one here as well. We want to find out where 1.5w plus 1 is the same as that amount, which, looking back at the graph, was $5.75. So those are my two equations to solve. You can do it back down in the space provided. I'll just finish this one off here. So 1.5w equals, if we minus 1 from both sides, and then doing the division, 6 divided by 1.5, we will get 4 kilograms as suspected for that one. So that's one place they're the same. Minusing 1 from both sides, we'll get $4.75. In doing the division, $4.75 divided by the 1.5 gives me 3.16 kilograms, and that's recurring, or you can round it. So there's two certain weights of packages where the two will charge the same. For a 3.16 kilo package and for a 4 kilo package, and I can see that from my graph.